Well, that was annoying. There's some ways you could look at this game in a negative light. The fact that a team that hadn't scored any goals in their first two games then managed to get three. At the same time, I'm actually not too upset with how this went down. It was a dead rubber match from the beginning, and that's one of the frustrating things with the new head to head thing. I don't love that head to head is now the tiebreaker in the group because it leads to more dead rubber games like this one. But that's how it was, and that's where both teams came into the game. Turkey knew they were done. They were eliminated. They couldn't do anything to go through, even if they won. And the U.S. knew that they were going to win the group no matter what, even if they lost. And so what we got was a USA team that wasn't super like it wasn't the first team. Weston McKennie's probably the only player that started this match who will also be starting in the knockout stage against Bosnia and Herzegovina. Um, it was nice to see Matt Turner in goal. I don't think he was at fault for any of the goals here. He probably won't be the starter still. This game doesn't change anything there. Matt Freese is still our number one. But it was nice to see Turner in goal again. It was nice to see a few guys get opportunities. I would have liked to see Haji Wright at least get a chance here, maybe, but at the same time, Pepe wasn't cutting it much either. Like, our best attack is almost certainly when Pulisic and Balogun are on the field. In fact, scratch the almost bit. Our best attack is when Pulisic and Balogun are on the field. And as much as I love Pepe, he wasn't really cutting it in this game. And I don't know if Wright would have been either. We need Balogun and Pulisic. And what's crazy is in this entire group stage, we've only actually had 45 minutes where both of them were on the field. And in those 45 minutes, we played the best half I have ever seen the United States men's national team play. So I'm excited to see them back in the knockout stage. I was on the fence about whether or not I was happy to see Pulisic play in the second half, because there's an argument to be made for match fitness and just getting him back into the team. At the same time, having a player who missed a game from injury, who's also our best player in a game we don't need to actually get anything from. Um, yeah, I was on the fence about Pulisic playing. But I think after the game, I'm actually happy he did. He put in a good shift. Our attack immediately looked better the moment he came on. Probably should have gotten a goal, but just wasn't meant to be on the day, I guess. And I am happy for Turkey to have gotten something from this game. Like, I'm glad they'll get to take something home from the World Cup after what's been a pretty disappointing campaign from them. To have as many shots as they did without scoring in the first two games has got to be frustrating. And to have gotten. Um, to have come into this game already knowing they were eliminated. You know, this was supposed to be the star-studded, like, big group deciding match before the World Cup began. You know, this was the one many had circled on the calendars for this group as the deciding game, and instead there was absolutely nothing on the line for it. And so Turkey got the win. I can't complain too much. There's a few things that worry me just about the ease at which our defense was kind of torn apart on the goals in the first half and the second half, I guess, at the end as well. Um, there, there's kind of this trend. Like, we have a really, really good attack. It's an absolute joy to watch. Really fun to see this team play. And the defense is what worries me. And against better opposition, I am worried about what that might mean. And particularly in this game, the goal Paraguay scored too, where it seemed like the defense kind of just shut off for a moment. Um, it was not great. It was really easy for Turkey to pass around all the players, and it felt like, you know, 1, 2, 3, there it goes. No one's able to stop them, and they just, without any issue, pass through our team like a hot knife through butter, and that was worrying to see. But again, then you have to look at the team we put out. The fact that uh, that Freeman, Ream, and Richards did not play in the game until very late on when Freeman came on. So again, even there's something to like look at that and apply context to. Even the goal Turkey scored at the end when Austin Trusty was on the field, very visibly in discomfort. The only reason he was still playing was because we had run out of subs. So yeah, that's kind of the whole thing from this game. I am overall pretty happy with how it went when you consider that it was largely a backup team. I think we'll look a lot better against Bosnia when we finally have Balogun and Pulisic playing together, when we have our defense playing at their best. And Chris Richards is so important to this team. I had a mini heart attack right before the World Cup when it came out he had an injury that might have prevented him from playing. But thankfully, that's not been the case because we need Chris Richards. I don't think Bosnia will be a team that's going to expose our defense, but I do worry that eventually that might happen. But for now, even with the kind of annoying way that game ended, I'm still pretty happy with how this tournament's been going so far, and I am feeling quite confident ahead of the knockout stage against Bosnia and Herzegovina.